like a sexual deviant. This is not the line I would recommend. Yeah, I'm gonna have some fun with you, is what someone says right after they've strapped on the head dildo. So yeah, that was my Monday. And I'll be honest, I wasn't too worried. You know, Donald Trump watches TV regularly, gets angry about what he sees, posts about it, and oftentimes he moves on. I thought something else would come along, right? Because in many ways he's like a squirrel that watches TV. Yeah, he'd be fully yeah, same size hands. So I was like, it'll move, it'll change. And it did. The next day, the big topic in the White House was the government shutdown. Right? There's a looming government shutdown. Because you know America's government is always on the edge of shutting down. I mean, at this point, I think you guys should switch to a family plan, right? Well, month-to-month thing is not working out. But they were interviewing the president about this. This is a serious topic. And in the middle of a conversation about the government shutdown, some journalist from the back of the room shouts out, "Mr. President, are you gonna sue Trevor Noah for what he said at the Grammys?" I'm like, dick? I was gone. Yeah, I always wondered what happened to that kid who was like, "Oh, teacher, you forgot to give us the homework." Then Trump went back in. "Oh yeah, Trevor Noah said I was on Epstein. Gonna sue him. Total lightweight, loser." Yeah, and so now I might be getting sued by the President of the United States. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it's a woo. I don't know if it's a ooh. No, I'll be honest with you. I don't know how to feel because I don't know how this will play out. If it was a normal time, I'd be pretty confident. Donald Trump would sue me. A judge would throw it out for a multitude of reasons. Well, you know, First Amendment protections, free expression, jokes, satire, all of these things are covered in a regular time. Yeah, and it would be Donald Trump suing me, whatever. But now it's not Donald Trump. Now I'm being sued by the President of the United States, Donald Trump. And I don't know what that means. Do I appeal? We get to the Supreme Court. I walk in, he's waiting there for me. He's like, "Say hello to my little friends." I don't know. Nobody knows. Yeah, with him, there is no knowing. You know? Just ask Nicolas Maduro. Former president of Venezuela and current inmate of New York City. Yeah, he was president of Venezuela. And then all of a sudden, he wasn't. The story is even crazier. What happened was, and you can go check this yourself, it's to the public, his correspondences with his friends, interviews, you name it. Like, you see his life in a detail that I think very few of us ever have. And I don't want to speak for everyone, but I feel like when we're taught about MLK, it's a really sanitized, flat version of his life. Do you know what I mean? It seems really simple and inevitable. You know, whenever you're taught the story, it's just like, there was a man named MLK, he didn't like what was happening, and he marched on a bridge, he had a dream, and he lived happily ever after. Happy MLK Day, 50% off your mattress. But when you see his life, it's not like that. Because that, like, genuinely, when people talk about it, you know, they'll be like, Happy MLK Day, and then it almost sounds like a Disney movie. It has like the same plot as a Disney movie, you know? It's just like, this summer, you know, one man, one dream, changed the world. I have a dream. Timothy Chalamet is Martin Luther King, only on Disney Plus. That's how it feels. But when you see his life laid out, I mean the minutiae of his days, the things that he and the people around him were experiencing. He was arrested somewhere around like 29 times over the course of like 4 years. Trumped up charges. Sometimes he was left in a jail cell by himself, wasn't given food, wasn't given a phone call, nothing. Sometimes he was beaten, sometimes they just, like, you see this man's life in detail. They chased him out of towns. The federal government came after him. J. Edgar Hoover himself, the head of the FBI, designated Martin Luther King as the most dangerous man in America. And then the FBI ran a concerted campaign to destroy him. They try and break up his friendships and his working relationships. And the most sinister thing they did was they tapped his phones and they found out that he was having an affair. And they phoned his wife, Coretta Scott King, and they snitched on him because they thought that would destroy his marriage and destroy the movement. Yeah. The FBI tried to dish gossip on Martin Luther King. Totally changes how you see the organization. Right? FBI seems so serious. Now you get the real picture. They're in that J. Edgar Hoover building in the morning. What are you working on, Kowalski? Drug enforcement, sir. What about you? Sir, criminal crimes, specifically financial. And you? Drama! You see everything that happened to MLK, everything. Some of it internal because he writes about it, some of it external because people are observing. One of the sections that really lays out what it was like is a 4-year stretch where Dr. King and other black people would try to go and get served in restaurants that were segregating black people and weren't allowing them to get food. They would walk into the restaurants, they would sit down, dressed to the nines, and they would get denied service. They would get kicked out, they would get cursed at, spat on. Oftentimes they were beaten. Right? Leave with concussions, bleeding. They'd go home, they'd wash up, they'd come back, they'd do it again. Go home, wash up, do it again. Go home, wash up, and do it again. And now, when we talk about it, we go, well, they did the right thing because look how it turned out. Yes, but when you read his life, you go, it wasn't inevitable. There was no guarantee that it was going to work. There was no sign that it was working. And yet, they persevered. And when I was looking through his life and when I was reading his works and I was looking, I was like, was there ever a moment when he regretted? Was there ever a moment when he regretted what he had gone through, what he was doing? Like when he tasted white people's food for the first time? No, because you realize until that point it was theoretical, right? Black people had never been served in these establishments. They only wished to be served in these establishments. But they had never eaten there. Right? They would just sit down at the counter. And the owner would come and be like, God damn it, I told you I don't want your kind around here. Get out of here, boy. And he'd be like, oh, my brother, I have a dream. I have a dream that one day, regardless of the color of our skin, all people will be allowed to sit here, our brothers and sisters, black and white alike, and America will come good on its promise that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day, oh, shut up. You've won. They changed the laws. Look at the TV. Here's your food. Thank you very much. Oh, shit. Now I have a new dream. I have a new dream that one day white people will discover seasoning. And I have a dream that they will no longer consider black pepper to be a spice. I have a dream that we will all come together to defeat the real white devil, mayonnaise. Can you imagine how awkward it must have been? That first walk after that first meal. Martin and his boys walking into the parking lot. Dead quiet. For this shit, Martin? for this shit, Martin? I'm so sorry, fellas, I didn't know. God damn it, Martin, you had them whipping our ass for this shit? Did you taste that food? I thought it was delicious. That's why I thought they were blocking us. I apologize, fellas. I'm so sorry, fellas. My bad. God damn it, Martin, that shit tastes like depression, man. Is this the shit we've been fighting for? I'm so sorry, everybody. I'll make it up to y'all. I'll buy everybody Popeyes on the way home. Who will you be when history calls? Thank you. You know, the conundrum of life is that just because the big is happening doesn't mean that the small stops. Just because the big is happening doesn't mean that the small stops. Literal about this. You see, when women are saying it, it's theoretical. When women are like, I'm going to come, it just means that this is the right direction. Going could be 3 minutes. She could come in 15 minutes. It could be her next relationship. Nobody knows. But you gotta understand, ladies, we're not breathing. We're not breathing. We're holding our breath. We're at our limits. You need breath to live. This is probably why men live on average 10 years younger than women, because of all the breaths we've missed waiting for this to happen, and it does not happen. There's nothing wrong with it not happening. It's just that we didn't know. We didn't know because we're a lot more literal when we communicate. We're simple creatures, men. It is what it is, like a dog. Where's the ball? There's the ball. Where's the ball? There's the ball. When men say, I'm going to come, it means that the come is going. The moment is imminently upon you, ladies. That is what I mean. When a man says, I'm going to come, this is the time. There is no other. There is no ad break you can take. There is no pause you can make. The come is happening in this moment. You cannot blink. You step in the road, the bus will hit you. That's what I'm saying. The bus is there now. The bus is there right now. You'll be like, where's the bus? There's the bus. There's the bus. When he says, I'm going to come, that is it. That is like, sometimes we already have. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes it's already happened. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Sometimes it's already happened, and we were trying to not make it happen, and then we're like a little kid snitching on ourselves. We just mess up the tense. You know, we'll be like, Mommy, I'm going to break something in the kitchen. It's already broken. It's already broken. And so that's why the worst thing you can say at that moment, ladies, is, oh, not yet. No, yet has already occurred. Yet has concluded, and now our manhood has been crushed with this tiny little phrase you say, not yet, and then we're like, oh, yet, and then we try, but you cannot, it's finished. It's fading away, we know it is. And so then we just were like, I better do it anyway. What do you mean you're doing it? I'm doing it anyway. Oh my God, I can't believe you wouldn't wait for me. I'm a man, I do whatever I want. You can't tell me when I should or shouldn't. So you don't care about me. I don't care about myself. And that's why I'm still single. Yo, DC, you guys have been amazing, man. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. Thank you for coming. Have a wonderful evening. Good night.